So welcome back. In continuation with human capsule formation, we are going to talk about educational attainment in India. So in this, we're going to talk about what was the literacy rate amongst the adults, the students, the young youth, and what is lacking, or have we really attained what had to be done. So just go through it. I've got a table which is so interesting. You can go through the table. So the table is given, and in this generally we find that elementary education takes a major share of the total education expenditure, and the share of here what we find is that what was the adult literacy rate amongst the male and the female. So 1990 it was 61.9, and 2015 it is 81. Female it was 37.9 in 1990, it increased to 63%. Primary education completion rate percentage of relevant age group, that is male is 78%, and 2015 it was 94, female 61, and it increased to 99. And the youth literacy rate, male 76.6%, increased to 92, and female 54.2 to 87. So looking at this, we find that for the adults, especially for the adult education, we have importantly National Literacy Mission was set up in 1988. Since 1976, formal education program has been launched. It aims at providing meaningful education to the youth of the age group of 15 to 25 years. And in order to provide technical education to the women, many women polytechnics have also been established. Women Education Council is a significant step to promote education among women. And we also talk about total literacy campaign. National Literacy Mission was launched to render everybody literate in the country. This program has now been recast as Sakshar Bharat, Sa-Akshar Bharat, with a central focus on female education. And the program covers all those in the age group of 15 and above. But whatever, I mean, once you see it's still, I mean, education for all is still a distant dream. Though we see in the table that literacy rates for both adults as well as youth have increased, still the absolute number of illiterates in India is as much as India's population was at the time of independence. And in 1950, when the Constitution of India was passed by the Constituent Assembly, it was noted in the directive principles of the Constitution that the government should provide free and compulsory education for all children up to the age of 14 years within 10 years from the commencement of the Constitution. And had we achieved this, any guesses? Then what would happen? We would have had 10% literacy by now. Of course, we have an upward moment in the literacy rates, but we have miles to go in achieving the 10% adult literacy rate. Even looking at the gender equality, male, female, etc., as you see that there has been a narrowing of the differences between the male and the female education, which points out to a positive development in gender equity. Still, the need to promote education for women in India is important for various reasons, such as improving economic independence and social status of women to save them from exploitation, And women education makes a favorable impact on fertility rate and health care of women and children. And regarding the higher education, there are not as many. The education which starts at the base, we have a broad base. It's like a pyramid. While as you reach the higher education, it becomes smaller and smaller. So the Indian education pyramid is steep, indicating lesser and lesser number of people reaching the higher education level. Moreover, the level of unemployment among educated youth is the highest. As per NSSO data in the year 2011-12, the rate of unemployment among youth males who studied graduation and above in rural areas was 19%, while in urban areas it was 16%. So we see that there is much to be desired in rural education too. Rural areas have witnessed a wide expansion of education. We have seen National Rural Higher Education Council that has been set up for this purpose. Under this council, 14 rural educational institutions have been functioning. Children of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes get free education in all the states. But consummate to that, we haven't really made too much of inroads in that. So, like for example, the most severely affected ones were young rural female graduates, as nearly 30% of them are unemployed. In contrast to this, only about 3 to 6% of the primary level educated youth in rural and urban areas are unemployed. Therefore, the government should increase expenditure on higher education and also improve the standard of higher education institutions so that the students are imparted employable skills in such institutions. In fact, even as I'm reading this, that only about 3 to 6% of primary level educated youth in rural and urban areas are unemployed, even that really is not, it doesn't look to be very authentic, because importance is that we should vocationalize education. So I can just end by saying there has been a good educational attainment in India while looking at the data, as we've seen, the adult literacy rate, male, female, etc., but much is desired.